Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Chad, and this week we're back at the Tea Time table, although sadly not for Tea Time news. With anime and manga under attack all over the world, and as me, someone who works in an industry of exporting and importing such refined, gentlemanly materials, it's time for Tea Time Truth. Now I have my trusty Tim Pool beanie on. My screen recording is primed and ready to get going. So let's jump right into basically what this is about. An attack on anime and manga. Heading over first to Australia, we have this. Australia bans the import of hentai and other adult anime products from Japan. Now I'd like to thank my friend Labier, who's a friend and fan of the channel. I've known him for years. He's a great guy. He's the guy that kind of brought me into this. I have a small subsection of my manga club devoted just to Australia, and that's why he sent this to me, and I've had my eye on it for a while. But in Australia, stuff is getting progressively worse for the anime and manga business. Let's jump into what they're saying. In an escalation of the country's campaign against anime and manga, Australia has banned the import of adult anime medium products, including hentai, into the country. I don't at all import or export adult content, nor do I desire to. In fact, if anything slips past me, if I send back, bulk boxes to any country, including to myself, and there happens to be adult content in it, it goes in the trash. My issue is with the banning of art, or drawings, or cave paintings. And I will get to my rant in a second, but let's give them a second to flesh this out. This new ban was first reported by popular Japanese-based online anime retailer J-List, who informed their customers on October 14th that Australia is killing off any chance of I wish I didn't have to say this, waifus entering the country because we've had to stop shipping there. DHL Japan called us last week informing us that the Australian customs have started rejecting packages containing any adult product. They then advised us to stop sending adult products into the country. Question: what is it that they're listing as adult? Is it straight up pornography? Is it censored pornography? Is it those sexy little anime figures? Is it freaking body pillows? Is it 2D art like a poster or a wall hanger? Well, let's see. J-List then stated the adult items banned by Australian customs includes Ana holes? I don't even know what that is. Hentai manga, okay. Doujin cast-off figures, adult DVDs, or any product marked with 18+ symbol on the product's thumbnail. Wow, that's not broad and vague at all. Now, direct from Australian customs here, what do they consider illegal porn? Well, child porn, okay, that's fair enough. Publications, films, computer games, and any other games that describe, depict, express, or otherwise deal with matters of sex in such a way that they offend against the standards of morality, decency, and propriety generally accepted by reasonable adults are not allowed. This is what's making me mad. And this, I don't even live in Australia. I could only imagine how frustrating that is for you, but I have a little bit of an example here to talk about why this should frustrate you. Okay, I have drawn a picture. Here, look at me. Look how brilliant I am. This top left picture depicts a 19-year-old, a cool guy. He's having sex with a cat girl who is 600 years old. Legal, probably, in Australia. Maybe that counts under granny porn. I don't know. Maybe that's not decent by regular adult standards. And then we have here, by the way, a 14 and a 13-year-old high school student, which is the age of consent in Japan, having sex consensually. I guess this is a cat girl. Regardless. I also realize that this now also just looks like he's having sex with a cat, which would also be indecent. Me drawing this is no different than an anime drawing. It's no different. It's a piece of paper. I use Sharpie because I'm not very artistically talented. These people use paint brushes and I don't know, all sorts of digital cool stuff to make this, and this is subject to 10 years in jail. So if I was in Australia and I made this, according to their own description, I would be liable to 10 years in jail and substantial fines, I believe that this also says. Can you see how absurd this is? Again, I don't import or export anything adult, but the fact that how vague this is absurd to me. Any publication, so book, movie, computer game, or any other good, this piece of paper, that describes or depicts or expresses or otherwise deals with matters of sex in such a way that it would offend against the standards of morality are illegal. I mean, you guys don't have to be pro, like, the stuff that happens in anime to realize how absurd that is. Let's keep moving. Kinokuniya Sydney removes various manga, including Goblin Slayer and Sword Art Online, following complaints of child pornography by an Australian... let's not say legislator, let's say boomer, because we know who this is. An Australian boomer is trying to get rid of Sword Art Online from a reliable importer. Japanese bookstore chain I can't do this in English. Kinokuniya. Do you guys have a problem reading English, like romanization of Japanese? Because I have a really hard time with it. Has removed several manga titles from sale from their Sydney location, including Goblin Slayer and Sword Art Online. Mind you, these, I believe, are ones that are already in the country. These are not ones that are on their website that people can buy. I believe these are a part of their book chain. I believe these are part of their bookstore chain. So like the actual stores in Australia, because he classified them, this boomer classified them as child pornography. In a formal letter written to Kinokuniya, come on Chad, you can figure this out, Vice President Keijiro Mori had previously raised concerns over child exploitation material being sold over the counter in the Kinokuniya bookstore, specifically referring to various manga titles sold within the store. So yeah, this isn't even online. So now this has nothing to do even with importation. This has to do with just it being available to the public if they want it. Again, this could not be sold in those stores. Now, obviously, this is being extremely hyperbolic. This is ridiculous, right? I don't think the Australian government or anyone would have a problem with me doing this. But that's the problem. None of these manga, by the way, are real people. It's paper and ink. On top of that, even if it's an anime, right? Let's just say it's an anime. It's adults, usually with thinning hairlines and damn near sweatshop-like conditions, drawing. And then adults, voice acting, and put together, and you can go to jail for it. Something that is illegal, by the way, if you're banning something for censoring, the government is going to send people with guns to go to your house or your place of business, put you in a cage, take away your human rights, because you freaking drew something. Again, you don't have to be an advocate of what is in the drawing to realize that the precedent that this sets is ridiculous. Let's keep going. This is the Daily Mail. Popular animated Japanese pornography known as hentai. Well, we already know a boomer's writing this one, is banned in Australia because it depicts sexual images of children, rape, incest, and sexual abuse. So first off, I want to just bring up something. If you guys are pro banning any art that, by the way, has no people in it, let alone that they're actually getting hurt, because it might have rape or incest or sexual abuse, you're gonna have to start with Kurosawa. Because almost in every film, this guy's considered one of the greatest Japanese directors of all time. He's made some of the greatest films that have ever been made in Japan that unbelievable Western directors are inspired by. We wouldn't have Star Wars if it wasn't for this guy. Widely available, this would never be banned in Australia. But almost every single one of his every single one of his movies has depictions of rape and incest, sexual violence, regular violence, extremely graphic content, and heavy subjects. But no, we're not gonna ban this because it's art. Because we recognize this is like brilliant storytelling and art that has a place in our society because it's part of telling the story of us, of humanity. But if you start taking away pieces of art, especially since these are real people, by the way. Now, they're not getting hurt, they're actors, but they're at least physical people. This is pixels and paper and ink. And you can get locked in a cage or have substantial fines for making it. This is a double standard. Now, Australia, I'm done picking on you. We're gonna move over to Russia. Look at this. Russia bans Death Note, Inuyasha, and Tokyo Ghoul animes. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would you ban Inuyasha and Death Note? Like, I'm even trying to think of why you would ban Tokyo Ghoul. Like, maybe it's graphic? This is the Moscow Times, by the way. A Russian court has banned several popular animes, including Death Note, Tokyo Ghoul, and Inuyasha, Wednesday over claims that Russian teens reenact violent scenes depicted in cartoons. Is this a flashback to the 90s, anyone with rap music? Do you guys remember, I don't know if anyone knows this, Al Gore's wife, Al Gore, the Democrat, his wife went on this crazy tirade against rap music and metal music and Marilyn Manson, because they thought kids are gonna do this stuff if they see it, so we need to ban it. And we figured it out in the West. Like in America, we go, yeah, you probably shouldn't ban music or anything like that because that's not what's gonna make kids do this. But now Russia's doing this, and they succeeded. State prosecutors had also asked the courts in St. Petersburg to ban Naruto, Elfenlied, and what is this? Interspecies reviewers. Ooh. The fact that they even know what that one is tells me they're deep. Every episode contains cruelty, murder, and violence. Well, yeah, but so does your media, Russia. Or have you forgotten about Dostoevsky? If you don't want people reenacting murders and cruelty and violence, you better ban your own history. Because you did that a lot. If you don't want people reading about things that'll make them depressed or not want to live anymore and possibly commit suicide, start with Fedor. I guarantee you this is depressed and caused more suicides in your country than Naruto ever has. And if you guys think that this is just an issue with countries, let's look at private businesses. This here is Amazon. Amazon reviews various anime figures, including Hatsune Miku and Kaito Tenchi. To be fair, I don't know who that is. From storefront, claiming items promote child exploitation. These are plastic figurines based on pixels that never existed. Hatsune Miku, she was never real. She's not even based on a real person. That's kind of the gimmick. Retailers reported that a variety of figures of anime girls were removed from his Amazon-hosted storefront, with communications from the company stating that they were removed for promoting child exploitation. Okay, first off, anything really that has K-On! In it, which is one of the ones that were removed from the story, you've lost the battle already. It's freaking K-On! And Amazon's removing them. It's absolutely insane that this is happening, and it's not just countries doing it, it's private businesses like Amazon, which they're allowed to do. I'm not crapping on them, I'm just saying, I'm trying to point out how absurd this is. Again, jail time. This is... it is so moronic and stupid that I don't have words for it. Like, I get it if this was like a video, like if they filmed actual child actors having sex. That makes sense to me, because those are real humans, and even though they're acting, they're children. But these are pixels, people. Things that were never based on real people, made by adults, consumed, by the way, with labels like 18+ for adults, and they're removing your right and our ability to reach it. For what? A general morality that is as vague as whoever decides to enforce it. I mean, I guess I have to end it here, guys. I don't know what else to say other than at least be aware of this. So when some boomer tries to go, yes, look at this Japanese pornography known to some as hentai, you guys can go, hey, why don't I educate you on what this actually is, and how about we don't start banning art? We tried that in the 90s, it didn't work. We tried burning books, it's really not good for us as human beings. Like, you can still get copies of Mein Kampf and the Communist Manifesto, which I'm sure both of those books have killed vast amounts more people through their influence than Naruto ever has, and yet they're trying to ban Naruto. But no matter what any of these are, they're pixels. They're not real. Yes, that's where I have to end it this week. If you guys like this video, be sure to like it down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or compliments, please leave them in the comment box down below. I do personally read all of them. Check me out at That's My Chad Zimmerman on basically every other platform. I stream on Twitch now. Check out my Patreon. Shout out to the Manga Club. You some guns inspired me to make videos like this, fighting against this nonsense. Because now, essentially, my Australia Manga Club's probably gonna have to die. For no reason. Cool. Gotta love governments. God, they do. They just really look out for you. That's it for right now. I'll catch you guys all later. Love hard, love deep, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.